Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in with us right here on the Morning Woodward Show, featured on the Roar at 93.5 FM and 99.1 FM and 94.7 HD2. Happy Monday, everyone. It's hard to be happy this Monday, but Lions lost, Pistons lost. We'll get into it right now. The Pistons, I was at the game last night. They gave me so much false hope. The third quarter, they were looking good, and I was like, you know what, Kennedy, they always fall apart in the fourth, and indeed they did. Cade dropped 51 points on us last night. He's the second in the NBA season thus far behind Steph Curry to do so, so we had to deal with that. He was talking smack to Cade. Andy Isaac, shout out to you. I took his tickets last night, and they're very close, so I could hear what they were saying. Cade was not being nice to Cade, and I did not like it. But, Jeff, you were at the game last night, too. What were your thoughts on the loss?
Yeah, you know what's crazy, though? Both games I've took my lady to. The one was the Blake Griffin when he was on the Pistons, when he faced Philly, and he had 50, I believe. The game-winning, or I think it was overtime ceiling and one layup. And then now we go again. Kevin Durant has the most points in Little Caesars Arena history, Blake being number 2. So it was a great game yesterday. I think the whole Cade and Cade Cunningham banter, Cade respects Cade a whole lot. He says that after the game as well, which is good. He gives kudos. But just watching the game yesterday, without Jeremy Grant, of course, he's out. Got the ligament injury. He's going to be out probably 6 weeks. But let's just look at this 12-game losing streak. And, you know, I watched every single Pistons game this season, and it's been a little disappointing, to say the least. And besides Cade Cunningham, obviously. Not because of the win-loss record. That would be easy. To say we lost 12 straight, and that's the reason why I'm so angry, it's part of that. It doesn't help, of course, to lose 12 straight. But the fact that in those 12 losses, and even prior, we haven't seen much progression from the guys, besides Cade Cunningham. And, you know, that's a guy who missed a lot of training camp, is coming in trying to get his shot, not only his shot, but just his feet under him. And you're starting to see that lately. He's been playing real well, better every single game, it seems. And I understand we got to give these guys time. Killian Hayes, because he was injured most of last year and, you know, he's still coming back, he's still trying to get his groove. I understand that. But Sadiq and Isaiah were healthy last year, and they've had a year, and this is same with Killian, a year under Dwayne Casey's system already. And you're telling me Cade Cunningham, I get he's the number 1 overall pick, walking in just looks better than everybody by far. And Sadiq, to see him regress, a little disappointing. That's a guy that, you know, with Jeremy Grant now out of the lineup, you expect a little more out of. And if you're an avid NBA fan, you've been watching these guys come out of the draft, and you understand that there's flashes in all players, and Cade Cunningham specifically. There's flashes. There's stepping stones, if you will, to becoming that all-star caliber player. And you see it already out of Cade in, 30 games he's in. But with Sadiq, you've seen it his rookie year. Last year, 7 threes in a game against the Celtics, finished with 30 points. You've seen those moments. You've seen and Isaiah Stewart, I mean, he's a little different because I think he's already essentially at his ceiling. I mean, maybe he can add a shot in the future, but I'm not expecting Isaiah to turn into Giannis or anything. It's really Sadiq is where my high hopes are for. And he hasn't found his shot this year, hasn't found his footing. Nobody understands, if you watch this team, nobody understands who to give the ball to down the stretch. I mean, you sometimes it's Cade, sometimes it's not. And the only players, in my opinion, that have improved, and you can say, listen, game to game, week to week, this guy's getting better, it's Cade Cunningham. And the rest, Frank Jackson looked good, of course, but without Jeremy Grant, Cade did what I expected. He stepped up, but the whole Dave Bing comment, and I know we got to address it, but that bugged me a little bit because Dave Bing, obviously Pistons legend, drafted him number 2 overall. Everyone knows Dave Bing, former mayor, but it was ignorant, that comment, and I'll explain why. To say somebody's an all-star caliber player and then to add, well, I don't think you can build around him, is ridiculous. Because, number one, I understand that there is all-star players that you might say, I don't want to build around that guy. But if you look at Cade in 30 games, the skill set, I mean, is Paul George a guy you can build around? Is Devin Booker a guy you can build around? There's guys, all-star caliber players you can build around. Cade is that guy. And although the results aren't there, it's hard to win when arguably we have the worst roster in the NBA. It's pretty, especially without Jeremy Grant now. I mean, this team is void of veteran leadership. I think if you look at the starting lineup, Adam, they're all first and second year players, and that partially explains why they haven't been able to close games. So that's really what I've been taking out of this. Is it's a little disappointing to say, if you have the worst record in basketball, what am I getting out of it? And so far, the only thing I've seen, Adam, is Cade, and that's really the positive.
Well, you already brought up Saddiq Bey's regression, and that's serious, man. That's not good. You can't keep going 0 for 4, 0 for 5, 0 for 7, night in, night out from the three-point line.
Yeah.
You are a potential marksman. You aren't a marksman yet, but that is your potential. You have that Klay Thompson, Ray Allen mold, except you really look more like Klay Thompson. You have that body you build.
Built like it.
You can play both ways. And with Saddiq, it's really frustrating to see. But look, man, KD dominated the night. I think he put on a show for everyone in Detroit. I think everybody can be thankful for that. That was nice to see. Whether they lost or not, I don't think it matters. Look, the team is in a clear rebuild. They're one of the worst teams in basketball. But Cade Cunningham is a star. That's it. It's not a debate. It's not up for conversation. This isn't, hey, I think Cade Cunningham is an all-star, star player. No, he is. Good job. Great decision. Great draft pick. He looks really good. And he looks like a kid that's going to develop into a leader. But the team is bad. Team's bad. Coaching makes no sense. This is the 8th time this season. You're talking more than 30% of the games this year where the Detroit Pistons have scored 19 or less points in the fourth quarter. What? You can't do that. You can't score 11 points, 13 points, 13 points, 15, 17, 11. You can't do that. And the fourth quarter, they were outscored by 17. They lost by 12. And again, should this team technically be a 500 team and really be in these games? I don't know. I don't think so. Should Casey be on the hot seat? I don't think so.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. And it's easy to say, like, well, 4-22, Adam. You know, they suck. Oh, yeah. I know. I'm seeing the same thing you're seeing. What I refuse to see, though, is that they suck because of Dwayne Casey. Players are developing. They're getting minutes. The team lacks veteran leadership. Where's that guy? What did the Hawks do so well that made Trae Young click so early on? The Capellas. It was the veteran players around him where you're like, all right, I can rely on you. If I give you the ball, you're going to make a bucket. Who am I turning to for a bucket on this team right now? Outside of Cade. Saban Lee? You think I'm going to expect Frank Jackson to go, what, hit 6 threes every night? No.
Yeah, no.
Maybe 1 or 2? So, yeah, but I want to show the Dave Bing comments, Alex, if you can, and then we can kind of get into it because I don't think anybody liked what came out of his mouth.
What are your thoughts on this young team, and most notably, the #1 pick, Cade Cunningham?
I think he's starting to come into his own right now. I mean, we worried about him early on in terms of his shooting, but he's been playing very, very well. So I think he's going to be an all-star caliber player. I don't think he's a guy you build your team around. We still got to get that guy. We don't have it yet, in my opinion. And I also think, you know, our weakness is the backcourt. We got to get a good point guard.
Really?
That is
really?
Yeah.
On a night where you're honored, you sit up there and look. Everybody can have their opinion. I'm not saying he can't say what he said. Believe me. Be my guest. Say whatever you want to say. But when you want to do that on that night, when he's having that kind of game. And we've seen him over the last 6-8 games look like an all-star player. And you want to sit there and say, he isn't a guy you can build around? Dave, look, you know, I know you come from a different basketball era. All these guys putting up better numbers than you. And it makes no sense, even though you were probably better than half the players in the league right now during your time. But look, man, that's not the way to go about it. That's the #1 overall pick. He's playing like one. And I believe he's the first #1 overall pick since Dave Bing, Cade Cunningham, correct?
Yeah.
Like, Dave, I don't get it. I just want a better explanation. I mean, if there was something in his game where you said, you know what, it's faulty, you can't build
holes,
around it, here's 3 examples why. Like, but just to go up there publicly and just be like, yeah, like, they can't build around Cade and they still need a point guard. Like, Dave, what are you doing?
When their last 2 picks were point guards.
Like, yes, we know they need a point guard. They're praying that Killian Hayes is the answer, Dave.
Yeah.
But to call out Cade Cunningham as if he's the problem when he's the singular reason I think everybody in this state of Michigan is watching this team right now. Come on, Dave. Look, again, if he went up there and said, look, Cade Cunningham reminds me of this player, and it's been proven with this player you can't build around him. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, hey, Dave's making a good point. Now, whether or not he's wrong in the future, I can disagree there.
Yeah.
But at least he's making a point.
Yeah.
This just looked like a public attack.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
At least he's backing his BS a little bit.
But he wasn't. And that's like the crazy thing.
He did, yeah.
I don't know why he would choose, like, hey, man, look, they're honoring me tonight. I'm going to watch the number 1 overall pick. I'm going to watch KD put up 50. And you know what I'm going to do tonight? I'm going to completely rip this entire team. And I'm going to rip the number 1 overall pick. Dave, what? Come on, man. Look, I get old people are mad sometimes, and they say really weird stuff. Well, come on, man. You don't got to bring your, angerness to the court. Playing the Nets. It's a good night at the LCA. They were in it up until the start of the fourth quarter.
Yep.
They were up 5 going into the fourth. Cade looked good. Mm-hmm. KD looked like KD.
Yeah, like KD.
Like, it was a good night. I think everybody at the game, especially you two, I'm sure you were enjoying your time.
Yeah. Oh, I was going crazy.
Like, we don't need this kind of, no, Dave. No, give me a reason, not just, I don't think they can build it around him. What the hell does that mean?
Especially when there's been scenarios. You mentioned Trae Young. Let me mention another one. Devin Booker. When they took Devin Booker, it wasn't a high pick. They found him in the lottery. They grabbed Devin Booker. That was their starting piece. They continue to win 15, 17 games every year. People used to look at Devin Booker and say, can you build around him? I don't know. And honestly, right now, if you look at Cade Cunningham and Devin Booker both coming out of the draft, Cade is the clear better player right away. And then Devin
I still think you can develop it. I don't think it's proven.
But let me explain with Devin. So they got Devin, 15, 17 wins. They added DeAndre Ayton with the number 1 overall pick. They signed a veteran and Chris Paul. They went to the finals last year. So, Dave Bang, let me explain something to you. If you collect the right players like Mikal Bridges of the world, you can build a winner. Why does everyone think you need a Cade Cunningham and he should just be able to LeBron James you to the finals? It's not how it works anymore. And he's not LeBron James, but you know what? He's a pretty damn good player. So, Dave Bang, 30 games into his career, it's ill-advised. It's too early. It's a stupid
don't recall
comment.
a number 1 overall pick being associated with LeBron James, Jason Kidd, and these type of players night in and night out. And we're sitting here saying, oh, Adam, I think we got a problem here. I don't know if they hit on this kid. Being compared to LeBron, not a fan of it.
Leading all rookies in points. I don't know what you want. What do you want?
Come on, Dave. Be better.
Be better, Dave.
Look, I'm all for criticism. Look, I think we need to question things in this world and openly criticize them. But for God's sakes, bring an actual reason outside of, well, I don't think they can build a team around Cade, and they need a point guard. Thanks, genius. I swear to God, nobody knew that. Jesus. Kennedy.
All right, well, Cade did have a good game. 26 points, 5 which were threes, and 6 assists. Adam, I got to tell you something. When I was on the way to the game yesterday, I was so excited because I was like, I don't know a lot about the NBA, but I did know that James Harden played for the Nets. And I was like, I'm going to make so much James Harden content for my Twitter and just fat shame him, and I'm going to make Adam so proud.
Did you?
And then he didn't play. No, he didn't play. He was there, and he was in a neon green hoodie. I sniped him because I was like, he's not warming up. I Google it. I'm like, oh, James Harden is out. I'm pissed. I was like, that was the one thing I was really looking forward to. And then he's there in a neon hoodie, and I did tweet this, and it just said sex on the back.
Yeah,
and I tweeted, hell yeah, brother.
James Harden is one of those guys where, if you walked up to him in the street, you'd just be like, man, can I punch you?
Don't even say hi.
He's a great basketball player. He's really good. He's insanely skilled and talented. But, I'd punch him.
All right, well, there you have
I swear. Just like Blake Griffin. I would love to openly punch Blake Griffin.
That man is so handsome. I couldn't even be mad about that. He is handsome.
Your taste in men, I totally question now. My goodness. How dare you say Blake Griffin's handsome?
He is. He literally dated Kendall Jenner.
Just stop. I'm not even going to go here. Okay. We're going to stop. We're going to go to break.
Okay. We'll go to break, which means Jeff gets to tell us about our friends that keep it cool over at Northwestern Tech.
All right, listen, guys. Everyone's hiring, and we know Northwestern Tech is hiring as well. You can start a new career in an industry that is always essential. It's the heating and cooling industry. Go check out Northwestern Tech by visiting northwesterntech.edu.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Did you know mortgage rates are still at generational lows? If you haven't refinanced your home loan yet, there's still time. Now is your second chance to refinance. You could lower your monthly payment, eliminate credit card debt, or even take cash out by using your home's equity. Call Hall Financial now to get started with your free 5-minute mortgage review. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
It's Adam, Jeff, and Kennedy. Mornings on the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome back, everyone. We now have to talk about our other loss yesterday. Yes, the Lions, who are now 1-11-1, losing 38-10 to the Denver Broncos with about 55% of the team playing. I don't know.
I think that's a generous number.
It might be. The list that just kept popping up of all the people that weren't in yesterday was absurd. And then we had two more pretty big injuries during the game. We saw Alex Anzalone go down and Jerry Jacobs. So, I mean, it just kept getting worse somehow.
The Jerry Jacobs injury, I think, is super serious.
Yeah, he's really upset about it. He's
out.
been public about
Probably
it.
well into October of next year, if it's a significant injury. Anzalone, I think he'll be fine. I just think they're like, you know what, we're going to pull him out. We're not going to risk him getting hurt for the whole year. Not worth it. Takeaways. That's the 7th time this year this offense has been held scoreless in a half.
Yep.
It's the 7th time. Look, before I even get into anything, they were extremely undermanned. All I wanted to see yesterday was flashes of A, creativity, B, young guys stepping in and playing good football, fundamentals, and C, I think effort, I think it's a given. But what you want to see in that game is competent decision-making. How are we going to put our players in the best position possible to succeed? And for the first quarter, it was a complete disaster. The Broncos came out with so much energy. They ran all over the Lions. They went down, scored on their first 2 possessions, up 14-0. And then the Lions put together a drive, and it's 14-7. And then they force a 3-and-out. And then they go down, and it's 14-10. And then Denver, of course, drives, makes it 17-10. But you're looking at it at halftime, and you're saying, you know what? Not bad. They held Denver to 3 points in the second quarter. Denver really had all the momentum. And I got to say, the play call to get Khalif Raymond into the end zone was the best play call of the year. That is what you look for. Those little moments, those little things, those details. You know why that play was so impressive? Because they ran Khalif Raymond in motion, acted like he was on the end around, and he came back. But more importantly, when he did come back, where was Jared Goff's eyes? They were downfield.
Yep.
They were in the middle of the field occupying the linebackers. And the linebackers were held still just long enough for Khalif Raymond to get open enough so he could just coast into the end zone. That's a play call I can get behind.
Credit to Ben Johnson, by the way, tight ends coach. He's drawing up plays.
I don't care who you give credit to. I just think those little things.
Yeah, it's creative.
Those little things matter in a game like this. Nobody expects you to win, but they want to see you make some good coaching decisions. Have some young players step up to the plate. And we're joined now by our very own Corey Woods, Detroit Lions beat reporter.
Looking fresh with the lineup. What up, Corey?
Listen, man, I'm going to start off with this. I was just complimenting the Raymond touchdown. I thought it was the best play call of the game. Having said that, I think it was the only good play call of the game. And here we are. You're 1-11-1. Again, nobody's thinking this team's a Super Bowl team. Mm-hmm. Takeaways from the game, considering how up against it they were with all the people that they were missing.
I didn't even really consider much from yesterday's game. I walked in there. I'm here, obviously, but I watched yesterday's game knowing what it was. The Lions had 7 players go down with COVID. They had even more players go down with flu. There was no way they were going to win that game. They were literally getting guys from practice squad and off the street, and they're, hey, you're about to go ahead and play this game within a day's notice. So I didn't really have any expectations other than, hey, let's see what some of these guys look like. Maybe some of these guys from the practice squad can be guys can keep next year for the depth chart. Mm-hmm. One takeaway that I had was about Craig Reynolds. I mean, I thought he looked pretty good.
The run game looked really good.
He looked really good. I was just wondering, like, okay, why is this guy on the practice squad? He did good in the preseason. It was a shocking cut to me to begin with, but hey, There it is. He's played good yesterday.
If I recall, his preseason moment was he got called the night before.
And got a
Showed
touchdown.
up.
He was
His
watching
first carry goes, 26 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, so just wondering, what happened there. But outside of that, like I said on Twitter, yesterday it didn't matter. The Lions could have been at full strength. Both teams could have been at full strength. With everything surrounding Demaryius Thomas passing, there was no way they were winning that game. It's kind of like last week with the Lions when they were going out against the Vikings. They were playing with Oxford on their hearts. Even when things look bleak, I just still thought, like, there's no way the Lions are going to lose this game with Oxford and doing that for the community. Same thing yesterday. No way the Broncos are going to lose that game after all the dedications and memorial they had for DT. It just wasn't going to happen. They could have played that game 100 times. Yeah. Would have been the same result. I think if they would have had a full strength, it would have been a lot closer. Because granted, even though the Lions have not been playing that well this season, Aaron Glenn has been doing a phenomenal job with his defense.
They did fine yesterday. The scoreboard won't say it.
Yeah.
But last I checked, the offense put them in two really bad spots.
Yeah.
The fumble coming out of
Godwin,
half, and then the decision to go for it on 4th and 2.
And that's really been the story of their defense all season for people who are actually paying attention, not going off of PFF rankings and everything.
I hate that. You know what? I saw a thread on Twitter.
Yeah.
It might have been yours.
Yeah, it was.
But somebody complaining that, they're the 32nd ranked team according to PFF. And I'm like, dude, watch the games.
They're getting put
like, for the people that tell me Matt Rule doesn't know what the hell he's doing in Carolina. You don't even watch the football games. They have the 7th ranked defense overall. 2nd in yards allowed through the air. Total yards allowed. They actually play good football. They just happen to suck at quarterback. And they have no running back. And their wide receiving core is nothing special. And their offensive line, nothing special. Like, guys, you got to watch the games. That's why when it comes to the Lions, you look at Aaron Glenn, you're like, man, that's something.
If he win, I ain't going to say if. Give this man some pieces. I'm going to be honest. He won't be here long. Because we're seeing what he's done with
somebody's going to give him a job.
We've seen he's probably not going to be gone this season. The Lions are 1-11-1, but
next
season,
got to be like Todd Bowles getting
5 undrafted free agents in the secondary this season, and they're holding teams majority. I believe they've lost about 7 of their games by 10 points or less. They've 5 of their losses, I believe, they were like
kept some teams
within 7 points.
Within 7 points, something like that. So it's just like, with this roster, if that defense they have out there, there should be more than 3 blowouts.
Corey, what was the conversation? Please remind the people at home, because people are so quick to forget. How optimistic not only was Lions, the fan base, but that team. How optimistic were they, given their offense, going into the year?
They were very optimistic with Anthony Lynn coming in and being the coordinator. It was Mark Brunell being quarterback's coach. It was very high optimism. Me, I was in the middle. Aaron Glenn, I was thrilled about. Mark Brunell, I was thrilled about. Aubrey Pleasant, thrilled about. Anthony Lynn, man. Reason I say that is, look at last year with the L.A. Chargers. It took Tyrod Taylor getting punctured in the lung by the doctor for him to start Justin Herbert, and I think that's why he got kicked out the door, because look what happened when you put Justin Herbert in. Pepsi Offensive Rookie of the Year. Look at what Justin Herbert is doing now with a defensive-minded coach. If you look at Anthony Lynn stops, he has okay offenses, great run game, but his passing, much to be desired at each of his stops. So, I mean, I'm not going to go ahead and say, hey, Dan Campbell is
but this was the strength of the team going into the year. And I think
but that
that's
was
what
it.
People forget. You have a good offensive line. You have a very strong backfield. A good tight end.
Yeah.
You don't have all-star wide receivers, excuse me. But you know what? You can scheme them open throughout the game. You can hit big plays if you just put together a good enough, strong enough game plan. And the offense has been anemic all season.
And I want to add this as well. Like you saw it after the Godwin fumble, they went down and scored. They were still, 2 scores behind. Yeah. And I want to read you off the second half possessions and how they went, because I read the stat. This is unbelievable. This is the second half possessions. You got fumble lost, turnover on downs, interception, and then the final drive where the clock ran out.
Corey, second half, Jeff just laid it out.
What the hell?
Look, man. Yes, everyone can tell me it's a throwaway game. I'm with you. But it matters the decisions you make. It's good to practice good decision making. And I'm now 7 weeks straight looking at Dan Campbell like, you can't do this when you have a good football team. What are you doing? What? How often do you want to set your team behind the 8 ball? Like, they're starting with a disadvantage on defense. They're having to start on defense in their own territory, 10 yards out of the red zone. Corey, look, no complaints on the loss. I'm not going to kill anybody for it. But, dude, 7 straight weeks, 7 or I can probably 8 or 9, maybe even 10 bad decisions, coaching decisions that led to opponents' points and a change of momentum. And I'm looking at Dan like, dude, momentum matters. Look, yes, you're going to have to punt. But if your defense makes a stop, even if they get a few first downs, they're still going to have to punt. Why are you giving them short field and a cheap 7 points, and now you're down by 21?
Yeah, he's going to have to do he's going to have to revamp his strategy in those situations. That's something that we talked about and he's been asked about at the press conferences, at the media sessions throughout the season. His decisions on these 3rd and 5, these 4th and shorts, like some of those 3rd and 5s, I'm looking like, why are you running the ball right there? I mean, granted, they did pick up a couple. They did pick up some yards, but the thing is, I feel on some of those guys' plays.
What was the strongest? What was the strongest aspect of the game yesterday for the team?
The run game.
The run game.
So on 4th and 1 and 4th and inches, when they had the opportunity, when they ran it, did they convert?
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
With Godwin.
Yeah.
They did.
I don't get it, Corey.
Glad you brought that up, because
I don't get it, man.
Yeah.
You have the strength of the team. Double down on it, not your weaknesses.
Well, like I said yesterday, he has some things that he's going to have to work out on because, granted, there's been some of his play calling that has, I'm going to say, led them to wins, but some of his aggressive play calling has put them in positions to win games. They didn't only won one of them, but they put them in position to win games. But at the same time, I still feel this, and I'm not hearing anybody say, I believe that there are some of his decisions that left at least 4, maybe 5, but at least 4 wins on the table.
Corey,
and he's going to have to figure that out.
Before we head to break, there's one question in the chat I'd like to ask you. It's from Dustin. Dustin says, do you think he is doing that because he knows they have to be perfect with this roster?
He even kind of alluded to that. Like,
I don't think that's the case, though. I don't think they need to be perfect.
I don't think they can be perfect with this roster. But I just think right now he has the luxury of trying everything because he knows that first off, as much as people want to say he's not going to get fired, the only way I would have saw Dan Campbell getting fired,
winless.
Only way I would have saw Dan Campbell getting fired in his first year is if they went winless. He got the win. He didn't do that. Right now, I believe that he has the luxury of just trying things, seeing how aggressive he can be, seeing how aggressive he cannot be. Because next year, if he still has the same game plan, then I would just go like, okay, WTF, what is going on here? Right now, he's like, all right, look. Half of my roster is just gone. All of my my biggest playmakers, they're on IR. I mean, Frank Ragnall's a center, but still, Frank Ragnall's on IR. You got Jeff Okudah, Tyrell Williams,
Jamal Williams,
Julian Aquara. Like those guys are all out. So he has the luxury of just trying things. And with this roster, but next year, that's what I'm going to be looking for.
Preaching good habits is very important, though.
Yes.
I'm a big believer in that. Doing the right things on a consistent basis leads to the right results. But having said that, we got to go to break. When we get back, Overreaction Monday. I think one of my favorite things to do after an NFL Sunday. No college football this past weekend, but we get to overreact to the slate of games.
Yes, sir.
From the NFL weekend. Having said that, guys, my bookie is where it's at. Where you want to bet on the NFL. Monday Night Football tonight, the Los Angeles Rams take on, the team with the best record in the NFL, the Arizona Cardinals, sitting at a pretty 10-2. Bet from anywhere, anytime using my bookie. Sign up today using code Woodward. They'll match you dollar for dollar. You put in $200, they'll match you with $200. You put in $5, big money, they'll match you with $500, guys. Enjoy basically a risk-free bet with my bookie. Now, if you suck or you have a gambling problem, one of the two, because both are very relevant in this situation, you need to call the Gambling Problem Hotline at 1-800-270-7117.
It's that time of the year again. Time for our second annual Stuff a Studio with Woodward Sports. Last year, Metro Detroit came together to help make the largest single toy donation in Mott Children's Hospital history. This year, we make it even bigger. Stuff a Studio is happening December 13th through the 17th at the Woodward Sports Studios in Birmingham. The children in Mott Children's Hospital fight so hard all year. Now it's up to all of us to help bring a smile to their faces. So while you're out holiday shopping, make sure you pick up an extra toy or two and help us spread some love to Metro Detroit this season. We look forward to seeing you December 13th through the 17th as we stuff our studio with Woodward Sports and Myre.
Woodward Sports Network, let's go! Ho, 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 ho!
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
With all due respect, Army-Navy is, look, it's one of the best moments of the year. But you think I'm going to sit up here and talk about Army and Navy?
What about the FCS?
Did you guys watch the Army-Navy?
Quarterfinals.
Did you watch the FCS championship?
I watched some of the North Dakota State.
Stop, North Dakota State. Stop it.
Go Bison.
Stop it.
Fish is a real.
State.
He's a real one.
Enough.
Sam Houston State.
Army-Navy as if like we just witnessed one of the greatest games in the. Stop it. Army-Navy.
Don't you like just seeing all of the guys in their
America.
uniforms?
It's a great game. Nobody in the world is talking about it on Monday except Army and Navy and their little radio shows going on at the university. Stop it. Kennedy, we got to do Overreaction Monday.
It is.
Sorry.
It's time. It's time for Overreaction Monday. Adam, what's your first overreaction?
My first overreaction is the Cleveland Browns need to move on from Baker Mayfield. I am done with this project. They should be done with it. If Cleveland fans, you want me to go on Cleveland radio and talk, I will. Whatever I need to do to help contribute to Baker Mayfield leaving Cleveland,
They might welcome you.
I am all for it.
Yeah.
I'm being so serious right now. This guy is absolute garbage. He only looks good when the team is clicking on all cylinders. When they face a little adversity, when things just aren't going their way just a little bit, he finds a way to absolutely crap the bed. Not a fan of Baker Mayfield. What a waste of it! What a waste of a number 1 overall pick.
Yep.
In that same draft, I believe Josh Allen went number 7 overall. Cleveland, you got to figure out the quarterback situation. It's the most important position in football. Get the quarterback right, everything else will fall into play. That's my first overreaction.
Considering especially his come from behind win, it's like 1 for 8 or whatever. Like when they're trailing in the fourth quarter, it's absolutely ridiculous. But my overreaction Monday, one of them, Urban Meyer, he's gone. Either after this season or the next. Because, listen, he's not built for the pros. We've seen it. 10 to 11 games in. His style, the way he treats his players, his assistant coaches. He just called his assistant coaches losers over the weekend. The guy is just, I think he's, speak about in over his head. That's Urban Meyer. No room for that in the NFL. And the fact that it is his first year, and let's just recap it. So we're 11 games in. We have him at a bar after a loss, hanging out with some ladies. And then we also have calling his assistant coaches losers. We have him taking his best player, arguably running back, James Robinson, out of the game twice. So bad, your quarterback, who's a rookie, had to go into the press conference and say, that can't happen again. That can't happen again. And that guy is a rookie quarterback. I feel bad for Marvin Jones. That guy had to go from
I don't feel bad for him.
Let me just say this, though. Matt Patricia, Urban Meyer. Good luck with that. That's
Who knew Matt Patricia ended up being less toxic than Urban Meyer?
Who would know? That's my overreaction. Get rid of him.
Look, my next one is the San Francisco 49ers have all the tools to get back to an NFC championship game. Watch out. I really like this team. I was this close to picking them as like one of my Super Bowl teams, like in the bubble before the season started. And my goodness, they are a problem. On a night where they didn't run the ball all that well. And, you know, this is a zone-run team. Kyle Shanahan known for running the football. They overcame adversity against Cincinnati, and I think that's what I appreciated most about that win. They were up 20-6. They blew the lead. Jimmy G goes down with a minute left, gets them in field goal range. Gold completely botches the kick, pushes it, I believe it was wide right. And you're just like, well, they're not going to come back from this. Joe Burrow gets the ball to start the overtime. They go down. They get a field goal. You're like, oh, it's done. Niners are done. Jimmy G can't do it. Oh, no. Yes, he can. Jimmy G is playing the best football he's played since they made their Super Bowl run. I am a big fan of the 49ers right now.
Yeah, 49ers are playing well, so great overreaction there. My next one is the MVP conversation, and mark it, Tom Brady is your MVP. What he did yesterday against the best pass defense in the league, Tom Brady against, let's just read the stats, 31 for 46, almost 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had a 105.6 passer rating, had the game-winning drive, may I add, touchdown pass to who? Rashad Perriman, who we got rid of for Trinity Benson, who was inactive yesterday. On a
Tom Brady's throwing the ball to Rashard Perriman, not Jared Goff.
I know, I'm just saying. Just think about it. Trinity Benson was inactive yesterday on a roster that needed wide receivers. Anyway, moving on. Tom Brady, my MVP. Give it to him right now.
I don't know. I kind of like Raymond, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Reynolds more than Perriman, so I'll leave it there. But I don't think he's the clear front runner. I think there's a guy that's toe-to-toe with him.
Who?
Aaron Rodgers.
I like him.
Aaron Rodgers, I think him and Tom Brady neck and neck right now as front runners for MVP. But my third and final overreaction for Monday is kind of heartbreaking. It's really sad, and I think people, especially Detroit Lions fans, are going to have to turn on the TV and watch the 425 CBS broadcast every Sunday during football season and be like, man, how do we mess that one up? Justin Herbert breaks my heart every time I watch him play. When I watch the Chargers play, and I'm seeing Herbert make plays and look really good, really solid, looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, I just take a step back and be like, could have been us. Could have had something special. Instead, we took a corner number 3. That's why we suck for 60 years. Unbelievable. Keep in mind, I love that fact about Anthony Lynn, by the way, that Corey brought up. It took Tyrod Taylor getting shanked for Anthony Lynn to realize that Justin Herbert was head and shoulders beyond, light years ahead of Tyrod Taylor as a quarterback talent. Figure. Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. That's it for me. Overreaction. You got 3 for
Kennedy, anything from the weekend that stood out for you?
I think that the Heisman voters got it right. I'll say that, but I still think that K9 got snubbed. He should have been there. That was so frustrating.
What did you guys make of Desmond Howard's comments? I'm going to ask the Ohio State chick. Did you think it was classless? I'm really curious. Give me an answer.
As an Ohio State fan, we, too, say a lot of classless things kind of often. I will admit that. But yes, I did. Yeah, I thought so.
I think there's like a time and a place for that. You think like live TV and on your Heisman ceremony, you just kind of make a shot real quick towards C.J. Stroud, like the guys in New York trying to just doing something once in a lifetime thing for him, and you just kind of add in better blocking than your O-line. I mean, it's like okay. I mean, I didn't see a point in it, to be honest. Like, it's funny, but it's to me.
I'm gonna defend Desmond in this.
There's
way.
a better time.
All right. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was inappropriate because those are 19, 20-year-olds.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're at an award ceremony, and they're not gonna go out of character and be like, "What the hell are you saying?" Like, hello.
Right.
But to be fair to Desmond, we're talking about it. It's all over the news. It's all over social media. And when you work in media, and it probably wasn't even his intention for it to be like this insanely viral talked about thing.
Right.
But when you're in media, if you don't have anybody paying attention, if you don't have anybody telling you you're an idiot, well, you're probably not doing your job right. And with Desmond, I think there was a better time, a better place for it. But, hey, I'm all good for banter. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I think one more thing I want to add to Jeff's point. He brought up Tom Brady. I really think Aaron Rodgers is toe-to-toe with neck and neck at the MVP race. And I think Coach of the Year could change tonight.
Yeah.
Rams play the Cardinals on the road. Rams win. I'm sorry. I'm putting my ballot in for Matt LaFleur Coach of the Year over Cliff Kingsbury. I just am. Sorry, my preference.
No, and you're not crazy for it.
I really like the job they're doing in Green Bay. A.J. Dillon. Yeah. I mean, they wrote him off when they drafted him. He's a dinosaur in today's NFL. I swear to you, this was the exact not scouting report. It was it was on ESPN. It was a reaction to the draft class, and they said that this guy's a dinosaur. He's not going to fit in today's NFL. They have Aaron Jones. This makes no sense. And here's A.J. Dillon contributing night in and night out for the Green Bay Packers. Great job. GM has done a good job. Coaching staff has done a great job. And I think most importantly, they've somewhat salvaged the relationship with Aaron. I still think they need to pay him and give him a big contract. Having said that, he looks happy.
Yeah.
And a happy Aaron Rodgers is the most dangerous quarterback in the NFL outside of an angry Tom Brady, which Buffalo got a taste of last night.
I loved your tweet about that, but we'll get into that later.
Why
when
would
we
you
talk
piss
about
off Tom
Yeah,
Brady?
they're stupid. It was stupid.
7 Super Bowls. 21, 22 years of like a proven track record of when you piss him off, he's on the sideline freaking out, and then he goes down and puts together a 98-yard drive.
As he
Stop
should.
it.
In Tampa.
Don't sit there and tackle him and keep him on the ground and piss him off. The guy's a psycho.
In Tampa.
He's already motivated enough. Don't add this much of motivation to him. It's not going to end well for you.
Nope.
You don't know what's in that TB12. He could be. Hey, listen, that guy's
Unreal.
balling. He's balling.
Unreal.
So don't piss him off.
For overreaction, I want to check in with Fish for a second here. Fish, you were in Canada yesterday. Do you have any overreactions? Tell everyone what game you were at.
My overreaction is Canada's underrated.
Ooh.
From Americans' point of view. Everyone thinks, oh, America's way better than Canada. No, Canada's a very underrated country, in my
In terms
view.
of just sports or in general?
No, just in
I feel
terms
like
of the
do
country
people
layout.
really ride around on mooses there?
Not
that
that I
okay?
saw,
Stupid.
but we
I'm
did
asking the
drive.
question.
No, not that I saw, but we did drive through the rural part of Canada.
All right.
My question is more
To
importantly
get
for the
to
bagged
Hamilton.
milk. Is there bagged milk or is this like a rumor?
No, I actually think there is bagged milk.
Okay.
I didn't have much time to walk around, but I did have a poutine. Gotta have a poutine when you're in Canada.
Poutine?
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't know what a poutine is? You're missing
poutine?
out. Yes.
It's the fries with
Oh,
gravy on
fries
it.
with beef gravy and cheese good. Ooh wee! Oh, it's just incredible. You gotta get it.
Poutines are one of the most disgusting /
It looks horrendous.
no common sense meals I've ever seen in my life.
Gravy
Well,
and fries.
there's-
They just put
They're
fries.
incredible.
curds.
They put fries in a
Ooh-wee.
basket. They put fries in a basket. They load it with cheese, bacon, hamburger meat, tomatoes, lettuce, and
Okay,
cheese.
that's not
And
a
I just look at it
poutine.
like,
Ding ding.
Huh?
It's just beef gravy, fries, and cheese curds. Sometimes
disgusting.
bacon.
Canadians.
And
Thank goodness. Look, I am ashamed that they're part of this continent. North
You're really
America.
gonna offend Fish.
We need to figure
And
this
while I
out.
was there, I had to go to Timmy Ho Ho's and get myself some
Who?
Justin Bieber donuts.
Timmy Ho's.
Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons.
Fish, we're gonna have a problem after the show, me and you.
I love that Fish sought out a Timmy Ho's to go get a Justin Bieber
Yeah, I had to
donut
get
in
Justin
Canada.
Bieber's donuts.
Come on.
Listen, I think anybody who goes to Canada should not be allowed to come back to the United States.
Well, I came
Well,
back.
we needed Fish back here to
go
run
to
the
Canada,
audio.
go ride the mooses, go do what you want. Whatever. I'm gonna ignore what Fish just said.
We've got DMAC in the chat. You better be careful. DMAC, defend Canada.
What Canada? What D-Mac
I'd
say
do it
about
again
Canada?
in 5
He
seconds.
didn't say anything, but I'm saying he's in the chat, so you better watch yourself.
Just that. If people
Herbert
go to
would
Canada,
be just fine in Detroit. Absolutely, he would. Stop, you guys. Stop saying that Herbert wouldn't work, guys. When franchise quarterbacks fall onto your team, it changes the fortunes of it. Stop the nonsense. Stop. Herbert played yesterday without Keenan Allen. Stop. Austin Eckler got hurt midway into the game. Stop. He's a damn good quarterback. Stop acting like, well, if he came to Detroit, it wouldn't have been good. Wouldn't have been good. Yeah, it would have. Stop. Guys like that are good anywhere they go. People like Baker Mayfield need an army of talent just to look like a competent quarterback. Stop. Herbert's special. We got to go to break.
We do have to go to break. When we come back, we will take a look at the current NFC playoff picture, so stick around for that. But first, we got to stay out.
Well, listen, Guardian Alarm gets it, and
So do Canadians.
And Canadians do get it. And with Guardian Alarm, a good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. And Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control lights or temperatures, detect smoke or carbon monoxide. It will even let you lock and unlock your doors. Call this number 800
Stay
out today. That's
out.
800 Stay Out. Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years at keeping families
Stay
safe.
out, Adam Badoon.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Woodward Show. Like I said, we've got to take a look at the current NFC playoff picture. Guess who's not in it? The Lions are officially out of playoff contention. I know we're all really shocked and sad and processing. It really came to a shock to me when I heard we were officially out.
Really?
I was very hurt.
Yeah, it came as a shock to me when I found out they put gravy on French fries. You sick freaks!
Ooh-wee! Oh, that's incredible.
How dare you?
I love
What
fish.
an insult to French fries.
What do you put on your French fries?
The fries were actually good,
It's like
too.
putting mayo in your Pepsi. You sick.
What?
You sick people.
Well, you should try it. It's incredible.
It's not incredible.
Well, that's your
Cheese
opinion.
on fries, I'm for it.
It's gotta be cheese curds, though.
Gravy?
It's gotta be cheese curds.
Gravy?
So you get
No.
down with the chili cheese fries?
Oh, absolutely.
Me too.
But
That's
not gravy.
Bussin'.
Gravy?
It's gotta be cheese curds, though. Can't just be melted cheese. Gotta throw those cheese curds in there.
Stop it, Fish.
True
All right, we gotta look at the
Canadian.
NFC playoff picture. Right now, the Arizona Cardinals hold the #1 seed at 10-2. The Packers in second at 10-3. The Buccaneers in third at 10-3, and the Cowboys at 9-4 in the fourth spot. Those are your 4 division leaders.
Yep.
And then, of course, the Rams sitting at 5 with the first wild card spot at 8-4. The Niners at 7-6 with the 6th spot, and the team holding the final NFC wild card spot, surprisingly, the Washington football team at 6-7. And this is where it gets interesting, and this is why I wanted to bring it up. Washington holds the #7 seed with a 6-7 record. And I'm going to name you the next 5 teams that are tied or within a game of the final playoff spot.
Say who we like.
The Vikings, 6-7.
I like them.
The Eagles, 6-7. The Falcons, Arthur Smith turned it around, 6-7. The Saints, 6-7. And, of course, the Panthers at 5-8, but they don't have a quarterback, so as much as I like their defense, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
But regardless, it looks good. It looks really good right now. I really see 8 and 9 potentially being this #7 seed in the NFC this year. The Falcons have to play their division opponents. I believe they play the Buccaneers one more time. The Panthers have to play the Buccaneers, so those are losses for those teams.
I like the Vikings.
Between the Vikings, Eagles, and the Saints, I'm going to take the Saints. Taysom Hill showed you why they paid him. Yes, it was against the Jets, but those flashes, being able to run for almost 100 yards, being able to throw for over 200, accounting for, 3-4 touchdowns yesterday, that was good. Alvin Kamara is back. The Saints looked like they kind of got it together. Yes, again, the Jets, but give me the Saints out of those 4 teams. I'm going to trust the Saints and Sean Payton to get that 7th playoff spot.
I won't argue with the Sean Payton point, definitely on the defense for the Saints, no doubt. My question with Taysom Hill is his experience, not only this year, because he's only started 1 game this year, didn't start the whole year, which is a little confusing considering he had, Jameis Winston out with injury. You saw Taysom his first start, banged up, didn't look good. Second start looked good. Want to see how he follows that up. But if I had to bet money and say out of the teams that are out of it, I like the Vikings. And to your point, the Falcons have looked better, but I just think they got to face the Bucs. Realistically, I just think the Vikings, they're already second in the division as it is, and I think they can stay afloat because the Bears aren't winning any games, and then the Lions, of course, aren't winning any games. But I like the Vikings. If I had to pick one to replace Washington, because if we look at all the standings, I'm pretty comfortable with these teams. I mean, they got the Bills at the 7th seed. I don't see the Browns, the Bengals, maybe the Bengals sneaking in, but the rest of these teams, screw the Steelers. The Raiders are fake, so I'm okay with that.
So here's where it gets interesting for me. So the Saints, next week, they play the Buccaneers.
Yep.
So let's say we hold them accountable for that loss. They play Miami at home. They play the Panthers at home, and then they're on the road in Atlanta. 3 very winnable games.
But losable as well. I feel like it could go either way games. I do feel like that.
I mean, they'll be all of them will be close. The Saints aren't world beaters. I mean, we're talking about the #7 seed here in the NFC. But I think 3 very winnable games.
Mm-hmm.
And they've had the Buccaneers answer or their number since Tom Brady's been there. I believe they're 3-0 against the Buccaneers. So that defense has been able to figure out and fluster Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. I like the Saints. I really do. We talk about teams that are on the cusp, but let's move aside from the number 7 seed. You have 2 wild card teams right now, both from the NFC West. You have the Los Angeles Rams, who obviously play tonight, and then of course you have the San Francisco 49ers. Jeff, let's fast forward.
Okay.
If the playoffs, if the standings were the way they were, if it ended today, if everything stopped today, the Packers would play Washington.
Mm-hmm.
The Buccaneers would play the Niners, and the Cowboys would play the Rams. Outside of the Packers, I don't think anybody is, outside of the Packers, I don't think anybody in the NFC is happy about that home playoff game.
No.
I don't see it.
I
the
agree with
Buccaneers need to host the San Francisco 49ers. Maybe it's a good matchup for them because the Bucs are so strong on the run defense side of things, but...
And the Cowboys and the Rams, someone's going home ticked off. I mean, someone's
probably the Cowboys because they're good at choking things away.
Exactly. Probably the Cowboys going home. So.
But look, I mean, right now the way it is, I like it. I do see the Packers making a push for the bye week. They have the head-to-head advantage over Arizona.
Yep.
If Arizona drops tonight against Los Angeles, which we'll get to later on in the show, watch out. Watch out for Green Bay. Maz may have been onto something preseason. Maz preseason said the Packers were going to the Super Bowl. Everybody laughed at him. Everybody picked the Rams, the Buccaneers. No. Tom Mazaway picked the Green Bay Packers. And you know what? They're 10-3 right now, and they look damn good. They look so good. They look like one of the more complete teams in the NFL. And the best part is they're missing their 2 best players, Zaire Alexander and the linebacker, I believe, Xavier Smith.
Yep. Smith. The Smith brothers.
Is that his name?
One half of the Smith, brothers.
Look,
but you know what's it's crazy to your point with the Packers? They're getting their key players late in the season, right before the playoffs. Jair, like you said, Smith, Aaron Jones is getting healthy, so the Packers are trending upwards. So Maz is not looking like the crazy one after all. It's looking good.
I'm telling you guys. Look
year.
at Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers, 2.5 seasons together so far.
Mm-hmm.
He walks in. It was a disaster. Aaron Rodgers is not happy. Doesn't trust the coaching staff. 13-3. Okay, I trust you now. 13-3. Okay, I really trust you. 10-3. This team is unreal. Packers just figure it out, man.
They almost deserve a berth. Like they've been too good not to at least just get one. Just get a berth in there with Matt LaFleur. I think they just
like a bye.
No, just in the Super Bowl. Just appearance. I think they've been so good over the last couple of years. I'm just surprised they haven't at least gotten one.
Look, I just think the Packers are so dangerous. I think out of all the teams in the NFC that we just listed, I think they're the most complete team. They can run the ball. Devontae Adams is uncoverable, and Adam Lazard. Guys, please, if you really want to see what real football looks like, go back and watch the Green Bay-Chicago game last night, and I'll tell you what a real offensive game plan looks like. Scheming people open, what it looks like. Adam Lazard, one of the best run blockers, not only on the team, in the league in terms of wide receivers.
Big boy.
He's extremely valuable to that team. They line him up basically as a lineman and a tight end at times. And what do? They line him up in the slot, and he'll run a route where it looks like he's going to find the linebacker to engage. And then he runs a hard-out route. And it's the easiest 8-9 yards the Green Bay Packers can ever pick up. It is one of the easiest play calls that they run, and you can't stop it. Why? Because it's on play action. You have to bite on the fact that this guy's going to engage. What is he doing? He puts his foot in the ground, runs to the sideline. It's an easy 8, 9, 10-yard gain every single time. I love those little things, man. Yeah. Those little things are what make football teams really great. And the Packers, I believe, right now are a really good football team. I think they're special. Maz, you're onto something, buddy. I hope you're listening, Maz, because you deserve credit.
Yeah.
Everybody on your show, Maz, they discredited you. They said, no, Maz, Packers aren't going anywhere. Aaron Rodgers is a joke. He's immunized. He's going to go host Jeopardy. No. He's hosting a Lombardi Trophy at the end of the year. Yeah. That's what it's looking like right now. I don't think there's a team in the NFL more complete and more consistent this year than the Green Bay Packers.
Maz is the same guy who he's pro Micah Parsons. He's been ever since the draft. So when Maz has an opinion, he sticks by it, and usually
Maz was also anti-Tom Brady until a month
Maz
ago.
says some crazy stuff. I mean, let's not
get out of hand here.
I'm not saying his opinions are right, but I'm saying some of his predictions do come to fruition. I mean, he's a smart guy. The Tom Brady stuff, of course. I mean, it's idiotic. I would say it to Maz's face, but the Micah Parsons and of course now you got Green Bay. Credit to you, Maz. Credit to you.
Look, regarding Micah Parsons, everyone's overreacting. Okay?
Yeah.
He would have been asked to play middle linebacker here, likely. Now, on the off chance that he did play outside linebacker, the Lions don't have the secondary players that the Dallas Cowboys have.
Yep.
They don't have the defensive front that puts pressure on the quarterback like the Dallas Cowboys do.
Yep.
Having said all that, number 7 pick, Penei Sewell was on the board. Did you really think they were going to take a linebacker over Penei Sewell?
Right.
Honestly. Hindsight, both teams looked like they made really good picks. Patrick Surtain looks like a really good pick. I don't think anybody's head over heels freaking out, oh my goodness, we missed out on these guys. No, I think people are pretty happy with Penei Sewell right now.
Definitely.
So I'm not seeing the overreaction, Kennedy. I'm just not. Aaron Rodgers choking in the playoffs. I love that. I love that. You know, I used to be one of those guys that would criticize Aaron Rodgers a ton. And then I started, you know what, let's look at his playoff appearances. And the last 3, when they got to the last 2 times, they got to the NFC title game. Year 1 under Matt LaFleur, he had 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And then last year, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's not throwing away games. He's just losing. And you can blame it on defense, but you can also blame it on him. He's not doing enough. They're not putting up enough points. I'm with people on that in terms of Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. Because if he was better in the playoffs, he wouldn't have only been to 1 Super Bowl.
Right.
So I can get with people on that narrative.
But Matt LaFleur did take the ball
it.
out of his hands last year. We watched that game live. I mean, the 4th time. We set up for the field goal, never got the ball back. But whatever. I mean, but
situationally, what makes most sense for the team? I don't know. I do agree. In hindsight, give the ball to Aaron Rodgers. Sure.
To the MVP.
The MVP. All right, I'm not gonna argue there. I'm not. Kennedy, we got to go to break.
We do, and we will talk about Dan Campbell and what we thought of his 4th down play calling when we come back. But first, I got to tell you guys about Stuff a Studio. I don't know if you can see behind the guys, but there's a lot of toys already in this studio, but you guys can help out just like our friends at Myre did for Stuff a Studio. We are collecting toys for Mott's Children's Hospital, so you can stop by the Woodward Sports Studio at 34915 Woodward Avenue in Birmingham through today through the 17th to help all of the children who have been in the hospital all year have the holiday that they deserve. Last year we donated over $70,000 in toys to the hospital in Ann Arbor, making it the largest donation in Mott history. This year we're going to try and do it again by teaming up with Myre, our great partners, and the power of you guys, our supporters, to stuff our studio full of toys. So like I said, drop off toys anytime from today through the 17th from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. at the Woodward Sports Studio. And if you are a local business, we will give you a shout out, and you can donate online at woodwardsports.com.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. One mortgage myth we hear all the time is having to choose between a 15 or a 30-year fixed term. At Hall Financial, we offer the modern mortgage to create a flexible term that fits your unique financial situation. Our team of mortgage experts are available 7 days a week to review your goals and customize a solution for you. Get started today with a free 5-minute mortgage review at 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Morning Woodward Show, featured on the Roar 93.5 FM, 99.1 FM, and 94.7 HD2. We got to talk about Dan Campbell. Obviously, he had lots of obstacles thrown at him this week. We had the flu outbreak, we had the COVID outbreak, we have all of the injuries, but obviously they still fell to the Broncos 38-10. But he refuses to use all of those injuries, all the illness as an excuse. He says we had to do what was not ideal, but we were prepared to come in this game with the guys we had, and we had a game plan ready to go. We knew what we needed to do, and we didn't do it. We made too many mistakes. We were right there to make a play, and we don't make the play. We were just not good enough. They were only down 17-10 at halftime, but obviously the opening possession led to a Broncos touchdown. Why are we leaving in the guy that just keeps fumbling? Don't know. Jared Goff says it doesn't matter. He was missing two of his best pass catchers, but the top two running backs, and playing with a third-string center. He said, no one feels bad for us. No one feels sorry for us, including ourselves. We intended to win, came up short. Don't care who was on the field. We had the guys we believed to win, but we made too many mistakes. But all that being said, all of the things that they had to overcome, Jeff, the play calling, what did you think about it?
Well, before we get to the fourth down decisions, I want to start by saying, obviously, the Lions, Corey alluded to it earlier, 22 players on injury report. They had to call 10, 15 players up from the practice squad. Josh Woods looked good. You found a lot of talent out of guys you never knew you had. Craig Reynolds looked good, a.k.a. Netflix. But really, my problem was I think in the third quarter. Obviously, after Godwin fumbled, that kind of took the heart out of the entire game. I think it was 17-10, and Dan Campbell did a good job in the press conference. They asked him about it. And I will give Dan credit. He doesn't make excuses, and that's obviously definitely a plus. But when they asked him about being out all these players and the decision making, and he even said, obviously, we can't make excuses, which I respect that. But I just hate the inconsistency. You go for it on fourth down, you put the ball in Godwin's hands, you convert your 4th and 2, and then you get into another 4th and 2 situation, Jared Goff behind center, and you put the ball in his hands, you don't convert it. It's just the timely manner of these decisions. Listen, you weren't going to win yesterday's game. We know that. DT, they had the memorial. It was, players were playing with heavy hearts. Obviously, the defense for the Broncos looked like they were playing with a spark, and you were never going to win that game, even if you were healthy. It would have been closer, of course, but I just think the DT impact was too much for the Lions. But I will say this: I think in the first half, Jared Goff looked good. I thought, the offense and defense, they played a good game, got some stops, the defense when they had to, but just that second half, man, it's really the self-reflection, because you go multiple games without scoring in either the second half or the first half. There's something there. Like, there's something you're missing, whether it's the play calling, whether you want to blame Ben Johnson, whoever it is. I mean, I thought the play call to Khalif Raymond was beautiful, but the fact of the matter is, or you want to blame Jared Goff, I just think you have to watch going for it. Because I get it. You're not expected to win a game, against last week to get your first win. You go for it. It doesn't work out. You still end up winning the game. But what happens when you're expected to win these games? That's my concern. It's not this year, because clearly you're going to end the season with 1 win. I mean, or 2 wins, 3 wins, whatever it is. Next year, the year after that, when are we going to see these decisions just either go away or we see a change being made? I don't know. And that's what I'm worried about is, how does Dan Campbell progress, decision-making next year, the following year? And I understand he's a rookie head coach. He's learning on the job, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But the fact of the matter is he will learn. And I think next year, I'm not really going to look at this game yesterday. I mean, I didn't agree with the go for it on fourth down. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. You got blown out regardless. So I'm not going to sit here and crap on Dan Campbell. But the decision-making, it's not necessarily going for it on fourth down. It's when you go for it, and I think that's really what I have a problem with the most. Fish, you watched the game, right? The Lions game?
I watched a little bit of it.
So let me just ask you, does it tick you off as a Lions fan? I know everyone, you hear this all the time. Dan Campbell going for it on fourth down, going for it on fourth down. You understand that this team's bad, and you got 1 win now. Finally, you got to win. Do you not mind when Dan goes for it on fourth down, knowing we don't have a very good football team, or are you in the mindset of like, this might end up affecting us later down the line when we're supposed to win ball games? What side are you on? Because I'm kind of drawn.
I mind a little bit. I mean, I don't like that he goes for a quarterback throw on 4th and 10 and 4th and 9 and 4th and 11. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But, I mean, a run on 4th and 1 is not terrible, but it seems like he does it like almost every game. And that's not a great thing to have because he's going to think, oh, let's do it every game when they're 10 wins or 11 wins or 5 wins.
Another thing to add to that is it doesn't put your defense, in this defense, I'll give him credit. I've said it multiple times with Adam. They played their tails off. I mean, Aaron Glenn gets these guys ready to play no matter who's on the field. It could be Fish. It does not matter. Me at linebacker, they're going to play well. And you saw it yesterday. Josh Woods comes in off the practice squad, looks good. You're down Jerry Jacobs. You still look good until the second half, of course. But the defense is put in a lot of bad spots. The fumble, at the 20-yard line in the third period didn't help them. So you got to feel for this defense because it's almost like decision-making is putting them in even worse spots. But I'm not going to worry about it, Fish. I'm not. I know it's not a good sign, but I'm under the opinion that this year I'm not going to look at a whole lot of either the wins and losses or the decision making because it's a lost year. I mean, we understand Dan Campbell's going to throw all his eggs in one basket to try and win a couple ball games. I'm not concerned about that. It's what does he do next year? And I think, listen, and Adam made a good point earlier about building good habits. And if you're going to build good habits, going for it on 4th down so often and not being successful, whatever, putting your defense in bad spots, that's not a good habits to build to next year, to the following year when you add more talent. That's my point. I don't have a problem with it this year. I mean, to a certain extent, you saw the Rams game, them throwing all their eggs in a basket kept it competitive to some degree, but it depends who you're versing, I guess. And if you're in the game, because you see when Dan Campbell's in the game, it seems like he's still going for it on 4th down. So that's what bugs me a little bit. I don't get it. I really don't get it. What about you guys? I need some other opinions on this. I mean, we've all seen the game.
Lots of people in the chat, Jeff, saying if the Lions had a good team, Campbell wouldn't even be the coach. He makes too many bad coaching decisions. They're saying at this point we've got nothing to lose. Campbell is definitely not getting the Lions to the promised land. 1-11-1 has a pretty good ring to it. What are your thoughts here? A lot of people jumping off the Dan Campbell train.
I honestly, I'm a fan of Dan. I don't blame them. I mean, you heard Adam. He was on the Lions pregame and postgame show, which I was a fan. I watched it, and I love what he had to say, and I agree with it to a certain extent. What does Dan Campbell bring you every week to the opposing team where you have an advantage over them? I mean, you look around the league, most of the coaches, it's offensive mind, it's defensive mind, it's special teams coordinator, whatever it is. You have experience in some area to where you get an advantage over your opponent. Dan Campbell, to me, although great motivator, players play hard for him, I don't see that strength. And I'm hoping, he builds it. Maybe it's offense. He is an offensive player. He's a former tight end, but I haven't identified that strength all year. And I don't know, Adam. I mean, this is something you touched on. I just alluded. I gave you credit because I watched you on the Lions pregame show, and I thought you made a great point. What does Dan bring you every week to where you can look at the opposing team and say, I have an advantage over your team because of my head coach? And I haven't been able to identify it yet.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's seen it. And that doesn't have to be an indictment where we say Dan Campbell needs to be fired at the end of the year or even next year. Mm-hmm. What is Dan Campbell? Is he the bridge coach? Or is he the guy that really delivers and brings you to the promised land of division titles, playoff games, playoff wins, NFC championship appearances? Is he that guy? Is he the guy 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now? Who knows? But do you see it? Ask yourself, do you see it? And if you do, okay. Tell me why. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, okay, tell me why. And I think the people who say they don't have more reasons than the people who say they do. Outside of the people that say, well, he's a great motivator, which is all true. All of this can be true. But I really want you guys to understand something. And this doesn't just apply to Dan Campbell. This applies to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody makes it in life. You can put in the hours. You can study. You can be the first one in, last one out. You can give all your effort, say all the right things, do all the right things, and still come up short. And why I'm saying that is just because somebody is likable and they're putting in the work, that doesn't necessarily mean, one, they'll make it, and two, that they can make it. apply it to Dan Campbell. You can apply it to yourself in life and people around you.
Mm-hmm.
How many people do you know that are successful and you look at them like, well, how? And then there's people who, always on time, always does the right thing, such a good person. And they're not, like, guys, there are levels to this, a definition of being successful. And I think what really holds back the Lions is they crave 9-7. I miss it so much. 9-7. Really?
I feel very attacked right now.
You should feel very attacked. You and every Lions fans that think that 9-7 was somehow like, we've made it. You didn't fire a coach after he got to the NFC title game. Like, put things into perspective a little bit, please. What do you want? What does this fan base want more than anything? You think they just want one winning season? No. They want to get rid of the same old Lions stigma. Mm-hmm. They want to support a franchise that is consistently putting out a good product, and even in the down years. Because there's always going to be down years. It's inevitable. You're not going to have a 20-year dynasty like the New England Patriots had. You're not going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Ravens. Maybe not yet. Mm-hmm. But what Lions fans want most than anything is over an 8-10-year stretch.
Getting rid of that stigma.
They've won 4 or 5 divisions.
Mm-hmm.
They've gotten to multiple playoff games. They've won multiple playoff games. They've hosted playoff games. They've gotten to an NFC title game. God forbid I bring in a Super Bowl into that conversation. That's what people want to see. As a fan, you don't mind saying my team went 5-12 last year. But the year before that, they were 11-6. And the year before that, they were 12-5. And they got to the NFC title game, and they won a playoff game, and they hosted a playoff game. And then this year, we're going to bounce back after a 6-11 season. Where's that expectation? Now it's always, we're in a rebuild, we're in a rebuild, we're in a rebuild for 60 years. Trust this guy, trust that guy, trust her, trust him. Sheila's different than all of them. Guys, I look.
Hey, you watch your mouth.
Huh?
Sheila is trying.
They're
That's
trying.
the difference.
They're trying.
She is.
Deliver.
She's gonna.
The reason why all of you think that I'm negative or that I'm too hard on people is because you're a bunch of losers, and you don't know what any amount of winning.
Okay, Urban Meyer.
You don't know what any part of winning looks like or what it sounds like. You are deprived from it, and you think that because we try hard and everybody likes each other, we're gonna win. It's not how it works. You have to have a stable front office.
Yep.
You have to get the quarterback right. Have to have the head coach. Need to have ownership that understand long-term, what are we looking forward to? What are we working towards? And if we're not working towards it, what do I need to do? And who are the people in charge I need to put in place that get me there? That's how you win in the NFL. Yep. That's how you have sustained winning in the NFL for a long period of time. Unbelievable. But 9-7 is totally acceptable.
And I want to say with Dan, for me to really, I think after this into the offseason, I'm not even going to talk about the draft. Just from a decision-making standpoint, we know Dan's a great leader, and we all know great leaders, and you can attest to this, Adam, surround themselves with people that have strengths in areas they do not. And I think this offseason, what he does at the offensive coordinator position, and that specifically is gonna tell a lot.
I'm not even talking about Dan Campbell right now. I'm talking about the organization as a whole. And what Lions fans really want. And if you want to be the Lions fan in the chat that says, I just want to have one more winning season before I die. That's why this team is what it is. And that's why they're not held accountable. How about, hey, put together a plan where in the next 10 years, we're going to win the division 3 times, 4 times. Where, yes, we win the division one year, we finish second another. Maybe we go to 3rd or 4th. But then we rebound and we get back up on top of the pedestal. Like, where are those expectations? They don't exist.
Because there's never been. I think it's more of a year-to-year with Lions fans because you don't know. The whole sustained success thing we've never seen. Maybe Jim Caldwell to a certain extent, but we can argue all day about that. That's it. There hasn't really been any. To your point though, with Dan Campbell, if there's some, if they
this
can
has nothing to do with Dan Campbell. What I just said, it really doesn't.
Okay. But who's our head coach? So what if we want these expectations?
No, don't say that. What are you talking about? Everything I just said has nothing to do with Dan Campbell. It has everything to do with ownership and the front office
And
and
you
the
said it.
history and the track record of this team. And how it somehow, if you want to bring it all back to Dan Campbell, is
got to get the coach right.
You got to get it right.
That's what. Yeah. That's
Well,
what
then say it. Don't maneuver. Just say it. Like, look again, guys. You guys, what were we talking about here? Dan Campbell's fourth down play calling.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell.
It's a year. It's a year. It's a past year.
Yeah.
That's it. The team is not good. The roster was completely decimated on Sunday. No one should be slating him. If you want to question the fourth down call, be my guest. I'm totally with you. I don't get it. It's consistent bad decision making. You want to practice good habits, not bad habits. Bad habits are going for it on fourth down in your own territory and continuously failing to do it and converting. Nobody would be talking if you made them. You're not. Stop doing it. Having said that, we got to go to break. When we get back, so many games happen on Sunday.
Lots. We're going around the NFL when we come back. But first, our friends at the Fulling Warehouse.
All right, guys. The Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck, home of the original football bowling pin game called
Fulling.
Host your corporate party, team building event, or just come in with family and friends. There are two ways to play. They're $10 unlimited open play, or you can reserve a private lane for $120 and host up to 10 people. They have over 100 beers, a $2 Mystic beer machine, and their facility is filled with multiple bars. Bring your own food or have it delivered in. Check out foldingwarehouse.com. That's foldingwarehouse.com. Come and get your full on.
It's that time of the year again. Time for our second annual Stuffer Studio with Woodward Sports. Last year, Metro Detroit came together to help make the largest single toy donation in Mott Children's Hospital history. This year, we make it even bigger. Stuffer Studio is happening December 13th through the 17th at the Woodward Sports Studios in Birmingham. The children in Mott Children's Hospital fight so hard all year. Now it's up to all of us to help bring a smile to their faces. So while you're out holiday shopping, make sure you pick up an extra toy or two and help us spread some love to Metro Detroit this season. We look forward to seeing you December 13th through the 17th as we stuff our studio with Woodward Sports and Myre.
Woodward Sports Network, let's go! Ho, 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 ho!
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Morning Woodward Show. Like I said, we got to go around the NFL, check in on all those games that happened yesterday. I want to start with the one we were watching at the bar together, Adam. It was absurd. The Raiders got absolutely blown out by the Chiefs, 48-9. Give me your thoughts on that game.
Chiefs look like they're back. And I know right now it's really easy to just look at the Chiefs and gloss. Oh, my goodness. Love them. Look great. I'm going to pay attention to the Raiders. They really need to figure this out in the offseason. They're going to be hiring a new head coach. Do you want Mike Mayock leading that new regime? Look how his first regime worked out with John Gruden. Look at those draft picks. You have a good quarterback in Derek Carr. He's no bum. He's a mid-tier quarterback. I'd say a tier 2. Just about. So having said that, don't waste it. And if you're going to waste it, I don't know what to tell you, Raiders fans. And again, Mike Davis needs to really make a tough decision here. Do you get rid of Mike Mayock? I think you do. I think you really need to change around that team. He's not the guy, and I don't want him hiring the head coach. I barely trust him in free agency in the draft. Let alone I'm going to give up. I'm going to give him the control to make the right decision on who I'm going to bring in as head coach? Absolutely not. Raiders have a lot of questions to answer. Don't waste a good quarterback in Derek Carr. I think you can win football games with him 10, 11, 12, even in that division. He's a good quarterback. Don't waste it. Don't waste it.
Yeah, the Chiefs to me, I mean, listen, 9-4, if you look at their next 4 games, they got the Chargers, Steelers, Bengals, and Broncos. They can win all 4 of them. So the Chiefs to me, I mean, I think to say they're back, it makes sense because if you look at the next 4 games, they can win all of them. And defensively, something's clicked with these guys, and they've had a historically bad start to the season, but they're starting to figure it out. And I'm still going to ride with them as my. I mean, I picked them to win the Super Bowl before the season, not to win it, but to get there. So you know what? I'm going to stick by it. But yeah, the Raiders, man, talk about clean house. You might need a clean house. Get rid of John, get rid of Mayock, and maybe get Derek Carr, either some pieces around him or trade him to a competent organization, one of the two. But, yeah, the Chiefs are, I think, in my opinion, they look good. One of the best teams right now in the NFL. So that's what I took from it.
All right, next we're moving on to the game that ruined one of my parlays yesterday. I had the Baltimore Ravens, but the Browns won at 24-22. There you go, dog pound. Adam, Jeff, your thoughts?
The Browns, look, they looked really good, and then they looked really bad. And I'll never understand Baker Mayfield. He is what he is. They got to move on. I said it earlier. Enough is enough. When the team is clicking, the run game's going, the play-action pass is working, Baker's a savant. He's one of the best quarterbacks. And the slightest hint of adversity, they put up 0 in the second half, I believe, against the Ravens.
Pull the Lions.
Stop it. Stop. Baker's not it. Cleveland, you're lucky to be 7-6 right now. It's a false 7-6. I don't like them. One of the better rosters in the NFL, lots of talent. They need weapons on the perimeter. I don't like the Odell Beckham move, even though I don't like Odell Beckham. You still need playmakers at the wide receiver position. It is valuable. And you need a quarterback, and they don't have it, in my opinion. So, Cleveland, I don't even know what to say to them this morning. I really don't. Get rid of Baker. That's about it.
And for the Ravens, I mean, listen, 8-5, they lost Lamar Jackson yesterday, and Tyler Huntley came in, and with less time than Baker, I mean, he looked better in the short amount of time he was in there, and he almost beat the Cleveland Browns. But yeah, Lamar Jackson missing some time. I mean, obviously he's out of the MVP conversation, considering how bad he's played, and then now he's injured. But I will say this. The Ravens, I'm a little worried about. Obviously, that division's so close. You need Lamar next week. I'm hoping they're hoping he's for sure to go, but they just have to hold on. I mean, they're 8-5. They dropped 2. They have a tough couple divisional games coming up, so we'll see how they can kind of piece that together. But they got to keep everyone healthy, the Ravens. I mean, Calais Campbell got injured yesterday, and the Ravens just have to hold on. The last 4 games, if they could just stay in there and stay involved and not fall to close to 500, I think they'll be all right. Tyler Huntley just needs to hold it down for a week if he has to.
He didn't look better than Lamar. Lamar got hurt, guys. I don't know what game you were watching. He got hurt in the first quarter. He got his ankle completely sat on by a defensive lineman. So then you're like, yeah,
technically.
Lamar,
they're not wrong.
With Lamar, technically. Look, with Lamar, you got to ask the question, though. First, his injury's starting to pile up. He's been getting hurt a lot. And once he loses his athletic gift, his ability to run, what kind of quarterback is he? Would he have developed enough where he can develop into a pocket passer somewhat? And if he isn't, what do you do with Lamar Jackson? He's a league MVP. Are you going to up him and pay him? So curious. So curious what the Ravens do. Talk about a good franchise, consistent ownership, consistent front office leadership. That's what it looks like. Baltimore, Pittsburgh. Take notes.
Yeah, and that's a guy we all at one point had in our MVP conversation. So that's
I think the Miami game killed that.
Yeah.
And then he threw 4 interceptions a week later. Yeah, no. Lamar's out of the MVP race.
Rip. Yeah. All right, moving on. Falcons take it on the Panthers. Falcons win 29-1. Adam, your thoughts?
Big fan of Arthur Smith and what he's done in Atlanta. Started 0-2, I believe. I want to say they are 6-4 since, or 6-5. I like it. I like what he's doing in Atlanta. The offense is really coming together. What he's done with Cordero Patterson. I'm sure his fantasy owners are extremely happy about his production. But they're doing all this without Calvin Ridley. Russell Gage is their number 1 wide receiver. Tajay Sharp, Kyle Pitts, a makeshift offensive line, no real run game outside of Cordero Patterson, who's a wide receiver and special teamer, which is hilarious. He's doing a good job there. And I liked Atlanta before the season just because I really thought he would rejuvenate the offense with Calvin Ridley. The fact that they're still putting up points. And again, they put up 29 against Carolina. One of the best pass defenses in the NFL. And they actually held Matt Ryan up under 200 yards throwing. Like, it was just a game of special teams, field position, win the turnover battle. And that's what did it for him. Cam Newton threw a pick. Walker threw a pick. And that was the game. The Carolina Panthers made mistakes. The Atlanta Falcons didn't. So good for the Falcons. Happy for them. Good to see it.
Definitely a big win for Arthur Smith and the Falcons. I mean, I didn't get – I was watching this game, and Matt Rule, to me, I like him as head coach, but I don't get – and I get you don't have a quarterback, but Cam Newton's in the game. Throws an interception, pick 6. and it wasn't playing all that bad before then, but he did throw the pick six. P.J. Walker comes in, throws a pick. Cam Newton comes back in after that and then starts the game. I didn't get that, the quarterback carousel, if you will. I didn't get that, but other than that, in terms of the Falcons and how they look, man, Arthur Smith has really turned this thing around, and I'm glad you brought that up. His number one wide receiver, Russell Gage, and a guy that, if Calvin Ridley and with Julio last year, he was like a third or fourth guy, and now he's your number one next to Kyle Pitts, and, they're still making magic happen with a defense that's, below average, and that's amazing to see. That's a head coach that, get him talent, and you could really evaluate him. I know we'll be talking about what coaches are on the hot seat. Arthur Smith, he's doing a good job. He's doing a good job.
I'm really excited. So we're going to, later on in the show, I want to say, 9:42? Yep. We're going to be doing which coaches are on, well, not on, which coaches should and shouldn't be on the hot seat. I'm really excited for that.
All right. Our next game, 49ers win 26-23 in overtime against the Bengals.
I love this team. Guys, look, I openly admit my man crush not only on Kyle Shanahan, but on Brandon Staley and Matt LaFleur as well.
Yep.
Listen. That's a gutsy win for the Niners. They could have easily could have folded and lost that game, honestly. They were up 20-6 in the fourth quarter. They blew a 14-point lead. They miss a field goal after driving down with a minute left in the game. Robbie Gould pushes it right. The Bengals get the ball. They drive. The defense holds firm, settle for a field goal, and the Niners, under Jimmy Garoppolo, drive downfield with George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, and they win the game on a fantastic play by Ayuk, by the way. I'm all in on the Niners. Good for them. They're at 7-6. They're now a game ahead of everybody for a wild card spot. They can afford to lose a game and still be in the wild card. I really like San Francisco. The schedule doesn't get any easier for them, yes, but I still think this is a 9-10 win team this year. I like San Francisco, and if you're a team that's winning your division right now, you do not want to play them at home. You just don't. They can control the clock. They force turnovers, and if Jimmy G is going to play like that, they're going to be a problem. I like the Niners right now. Good for them.
Yeah, I like the Niners as well, and you mentioned it perfectly, the defense for this team. I mean, you saw the injuries they suffered the last couple of years. The majority of this defense is healthy. Jimmy G looks good. The run game, they're running back by committee, but it's working. Offensive line's doing work, and now they have George Kittle back, and that's a big deal. Guy who's important to him in the run game, important to him in the pass game, and you saw the catch he made, a clutch catch, basically the game-sealing catch, which allowed them to kick the field goal to win the ball game in overtime. So this team is serious, man. And they got their guys back. Ayuk's playing better. Kittle's emerging. So dangerous team. If you're a one seed, I think you're crapping your pants to play this team.
I think any team that has to play the Niners in the playoffs is looking like we got to step up. We really need to bring our A game. I'm telling you, you want to talk about a team. If I had to put money, if you put a gun to my head, said, Adam, you need to put money on a non-division winner making a run for the NFC title game, I put it all on the Niners. That's how high I'm on, not only on this roster, but I'm high on their coaching staff. I'm high on the run game. I love what they're putting together. And Jimmy G playing good football really gives me all the confidence I need.
All right, I like it. And I like what you're going to have to say about this next game. Brady getting mad. The Bucs win 33-27 against the Buffalo Bills.
I mean, Josh Allen, Herculean effort. I felt bad watching him play. He's in a walking boot, by the way. Josh Allen fantasy owners, I'm sorry, rip, including me. There goes my playoff run. Josh Allen played his tail off, and the defense played their tail off in the second half. But when you get the ball back, look, I'm going to totally skip past the first four quarters, excuse me, but this is a really important point. When you win the toss in overtime and you get the ball against Tom Brady, you need to go down and score. And they didn't. And they had to punt. And what Tom Brady do? He does Tom Brady things. Throws number 700 to Brashad Perriman. Touchdown, ball game. Can somebody remind Mike Evans to stop giving the ball, by the way, to fans after he scores? Because that was number 699. And I swear to God,
I didn't even
if that was
register
number
that
700 and he caught it, he would have thrown it into the stands.
Totally.
Like, this guy has zero
self-awareness. And then you'd have
self-awareness.
to ask it for it back again.
I don't get it. How do you not know the significance of what's going on?
I think it's hard to keep up with all of Brady's milestones, probably.
I mean, I'm
They're
sure
frequent.
it is, but like 700.
I know. I hear you.
There are baseball players that don't even hit that many home runs. Unreal. Unreal. A good year for a quarterback is 25, 28 touchdown passes. Look at this guy.
I mean, he's the
Unreal,
GOAT.
Brady. Unreal.
And the Bills, to me, this year, if you watch the Bills, they've shown they can be, taken advantage of, especially in the run game. And, playoff Lenny's coming alive early. And Tom Brady, you just mentioned it. Like, this guy, I already said it earlier, what he did against the best pass defense in the league. And you saw Bill Belichick said, I'm not going to pass the ball, especially in these conditions against that defense. Tom Brady at home in sunny Tampa lights him up for almost 400. So you got to give credit to him, man. At 45 years old, he's doing things that are historic. So to me, that's enough storyline. And he's got the statistics, he's got the wins, and he looks pretty damn good. He's been in every single game. He's played in every single game all year. So I like him to win MVP, but more importantly, the Bills, 7-6, like you mentioned, Josh Allen in the boot. A little worried about the Bills, but I think they'll figure it out. They got Mitch Trubisky, the savior of Chicago at backup. So we'll see how it goes.
One more game I want to get into that you left off the list, Adam. We have to check in with the NFC North. The Bears and the Packers facing off yesterday during the primetime game. Rodgers led the Packers to a 45-30 win, going 29 of 37 for 341 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions.
Yeah, I left it out for a reason. I'm biased. I am in love with Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers. I think he's a Coach of the Year frontrunner, along with Aaron Rodgers for MVP.
Yeah.
They're just playing so well. After that embarrassing opening game, everybody wrote them off. The Packers are done. Aaron Rodgers is going to host Jeopardy. 10-2 cents. They're doing just fine.
Yep.
Good franchises, good front office, good head coach, good quarterback. They've got it figured out.
Did you see any of the
They can have
post-game?
2 down years like they did the 2 years prior to Matt LaFleur. Yes, Aaron Rodgers was in and out of the lineup, but hey, that's an organization. They have 2 down years. People write them off. What are they going to do with Aaron? What are they going to do? They hire the right coach. The GM gets some good pieces around the team. And there's your product. 13-3 NFC title game, 13-3 NFC title game, 10-3 on pace to get a bye week and potential another NFC title game. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and if you guys missed it, Alan Lazard showed up to his post-game press conference in a T-shirt that says, I still own you. So I absolutely love that for Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers when it comes to the Bears. And honestly, they own the whole NFC North. Like, let's be blunt here. So they deserve it. Good win by the Packers. Up next, we will cover Monday Night Football for you guys. We will preview that game, the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Cardinals. That will be next. But first, Jeff has to tell us about our friends right here at Lady Jane's.
Yeah, Lady Jane's, guys, let's be honest. Football season is already here, and it's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play on the beautiful flat screens they got in here while you get your haircut. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. You'll walk in anytime because it is wicked awesome.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Morning Woodward Show. All right, the 8-4 Rams taking on the 10-2 Cardinals this Monday in a primetime NFC West showdown that feature the 2 best teams in the division, but also 2 of the best teams in the league. I think that's pretty clear. The last time they saw each other, the Cardinals were the better team and defeated the Rams for the first time in head coach Cliff Kingsbury's tenure. So, will we see it happen again this Monday, Adam?
All right, so on the Lions pregame show on Sunday, we gave out 5 picks. I am so far 4 for 4, on fire. My 5th pick was the Rams to not only cover, but to beat the Arizona Cardinals. This is such a big game for Los Angeles. You can't afford to lose this game. Talk about narrative all the time. Big thing on this show. Narrative. Narrative matters. And when you're Matthew Stafford and you're walking into that locker room, we said this after they beat the Bucs. That was huge. There was belief. And they went on and started 7-2 or 7-1, I believe. And then they lost 3 straight, and now confidence kind of at an all-time low. But if you go out and beat the Cardinals in Arizona, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, the offensive line, the coaching staff, everybody can look around and say, okay, we got this. We had a bumpy stretch, but we got this. We're only a game back of the division after that win, potentially. Let's go take care of business. Let's start to get our game going. Let's stop killing ourselves, shooting ourselves in the foot. Let's get the run game going with Sony Michel. Let's get Odell Beckham more involved. Let's get Cooper Kupp involved. Let's limit mistakes and turnovers in defense. Let's play somewhat like we played last year. And if you can do that, I like the Los Angeles Rams. I like them tonight. I think narrative it really does matter. Stafford is going to have the best game of his career tonight because Kyler Murray's showing up. I can guarantee you that. Cliff Kingsbury, they're going to put up points. Can you answer Matthew Stafford? Can you answer Sean McVay? Can you put together a good enough game plan where you're going to feel confident Tuesday morning? Where you can look your teammates in the eye and say, you know what? We got a team here. We got a team that can overcome adversity. We started off 7-1. Stafford's played like garbage the last 3 games. Then we went to 7-4. Then we beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's not much of an accomplishment, but hey, we got our good feeling back in the locker room. Let's capitalize and beat the Cardinals. I think the narrative is all on Stafford and the Rams tonight. I think they get it done, and I think it's a huge win for them, and I think it's really momentum shifting. We talk about a team that you want to peak at the right time. Rams, you got the bad losses out of the way. Show that you're a good football team tonight. Mm-hmm. Don't go out there and lose. You will have only justified the narrative that has been labeled with you the entire season. Got to have it tonight, Los Angeles. You got to have it.
And more importantly, especially the Rams, their last 5 games, 3 games have been against playoff teams. They've lost all 3 of them. 2 of those teams are in the lottery, and they've beaten those 2 teams. So it's not a good 5-game stretch for the Rams. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. They beat the Houston Texans. Congratulations. Tonight, like you said, big game, not only for narrative, momentum, importance. They have to win this game. And you saw Aaron Rodgers earlier in the year without Devontae, missing a lot of players, walking into State Farm Stadium in Arizona and getting a win. He walked out, we all saw it, the Kyler Murray at the end of the game threw an interception to Rasul to end the game. This game tonight is the most important game to me on the Rams' schedule in terms of where they are as a team. 8-4, you can't afford to fall to 8-5. And we saw the Rams. They're pretty good on the road, 4-2, but both of these teams defensively give up points. It's going to, in my opinion, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Somewhere it's probably around 30 points for both these teams. I think the Rams get it done. I'm willing to get on board just because of how important the game is. I could see Arizona dropping this game, going to 10-3 and finding a way to end the season, whatever, 12-4, 11, whatever it is, or 13-4 now because there's 17 games. But the Rams need to win this game, and Matthew Stafford's going to have a Aaron Rodgers-esque performance. But he has his weapons today. He doesn't have Robert Woods, of course, but he has Cooper Kupp, and I think it's a big game. So I got the Rams winning. If I had to give a prediction tonight, I'll say 33-20. I'll say 33-30. I think it's close. I'll say a field goal game.
Yeah, look, again, this is a huge game for Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Yep. You need to get the confidence of the locker room. You need to. You had it early on. You guys were 7-1. Everybody was in love with you. You had a rough 3-game stretch. You did not look good, Stafford. Bounce back against Jacksonville. Great. Everybody does that. What are you going to do against Arizona tonight? And I'm telling you guys, narrative matters. Stafford can't walk back in that locker room 8-5 with a bad performance and say, guys, I can look you in the face and say, you know what? It will be good. We're going to make the wild card and teams aren't going to want to play us. No, you need to win these kind of football games. On the road, division opponent, one of the best teams in football, go get it done. Go change the narrative. If you don't, I don't see the Rams really making a push in the playoffs, even if they sneak in. I just don't see it. But the Rams need this game more than anyone else.
Yep.
Yes, definitely.
What's up, Kennedy?
I'm just reading the chat. A lot of people against Stafford. Stafford's record against winning teams is no good. If you're betting on Stafford on having a good game, you are in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this.
No, I think it's a fair point.
No.
And when you bring up, look, I don't mind people bringing up fair points. I think what they need to understand is, again, narrative really matters in the NFL. It's worked out in almost every instance this year. I want to say outside of the Minnesota-Detroit Lions game. Every time we've called a narrative game, we've been right on the money.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at this game, this is a can't lose for the Rams. It just feels like that. The season goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Cardinals come out and they give it to the Rams, you're looking at Les Snead, Sean McVay, who I think are phenomenal at their jobs. But you're looking at them like, all right, you traded for Stafford. You gave away 2 first-round picks. You didn't trade for Stafford to finish second in the division and be a 6th seed in the wild card.
Yeah, 0-2 to the number 1 seed in your division.
Yeah, like you can't. You can't be 3-3 in your division. You traded for Stafford to go 4-2, 5-1, win the division, potentially get a bye week, and get back to the Super Bowl. That's what you made the trade for. So look, I think narrative is really important tonight, and Stafford, I think, shows up. Now, if you want to bet on history, absolutely, I'm with you. Stafford wouldn't show up tonight, right? Doesn't make sense. And narrative matters. The Rams and Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford cannot afford to go out and play like complete bums. It's not going to happen. I don't see it happening. And I actually see the Rams putting together a good game plan.
Mm-hmm.
They'll probably come out quick, jump on the Cardinals, and they'll hold on late. I like the Rams tonight. I'm going to go 35-28.
Close game.
Yeah.
So we're on the same.
It'll be a
ballpark.
one-score game. I don't see the Rams
Nervous.
blowing them out. If the Rams do, I'd be very surprised.
Once we agree, one-score game, it'll be high scoring, definitely. 2 good offenses that give up points, and I think defensively they have obviously the better players. Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald. They haven't been able to put it together. They were the number 1 defense last year, but doesn't take away the fact that they have better players in terms of on paper, and hopefully they show up tonight. I think they will. Aaron Donald will get after Kyler. We'll see how it goes. I think they do well.
Well, I'm certainly nervous for Stafford going in tonight's game, so I will probably be sipping on some gypsy vodka.
Well, I have a ton of money on the over tonight, so let's all pray with me on that one. Guys, look, gypsy vodka. It's gluten-free, corn distilled 6 times using artisan spring water. Fish's favorite. Support our local brothers here in Michigan. Gypsy vodka was founded in Michigan by 2 Michigan State alum twin brothers, Mike and Adam. Try a bottle today. Ask for it by the name of Gypsy. And as always, don't be like Kennedy. Drink responsibly.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
It's Adam, Jeff, and Kennedy. Mornings on the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Woodward Show. Holy cow. Which coaches should and shouldn't be on the hot seat? Adam, I added some coaches to your list.
Oh, okay.
So Adam had Urban Meyer, which, okay, yes, rightfully so. Dan Campbell, Arthur Smith, Pete Carroll, leave him alone. Everyone leave Pete Carroll alone. Robert Saleh, Matt Rule. I added Matt Nagy and Mike Zimmer.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I like that. Well, let's start with Urban Meyer.
Okay, let's start with him. Lots of bad stuff coming out of Jacksonville. He was mean, calling his coaches losers.
He needs to retire.
Saying
he needs to resign. It doesn't look good. Look, I mean, you just look at it, guys. It doesn't look like it's going to work. I'm sorry.
No, it doesn't.
I'm not only saying this stuff about Dan Campbell.
I know.
It doesn't look like it's going to work with Urban. I'm sorry.
Well,
he doesn't look interested. Look how he shook Mike Vrabel's hand.
Oh, so many people had an issue with that.
Who was on his staff at Ohio
I know.
State. And you didn't give him a hug and say, hey, man, have a good season. I'll see you later.
He was angry. You could see it.
He was just like, God,
He
I'm
walked
getting
right
paid
through
millions
that
to be
handshake.
embarrassed on national TV.
Call my assistants losers.
And look, I don't blame him for being mad. All he's known in his life is winning.
Winning.
So I get it. But that's not how you go about it.
He's with the big
I don't
dogs
like
now.
it. I don't like it.
And
I don't like it with Urban.
That's the big part. It's kind of the ego. And I get everyone has an ego, but Nick Saban did it. He went to Miami, but you go to the pros, you go to the NFL, and with the Urban, I mean, in one season, I mean, I've said this in the Overreaction Monday, I think he's gone, and he should be. This isn't, I don't know if the Jacksonville Jaguars will fire him, but in my opinion, if I'm Shad, I'm firing his ass as soon as the season's over.
No, you're going to have to pay him, so.
And that's fine with me. If I'm Shad, I got plenty of money, so I'm paying you to go retire, go move away, go enjoy, go take some vacations with the wife or the lady you were at the bar with, on your lap, whatever you want to do. I don't care. But the fact of the matter is, Urban Meyer in one season. And Dan Campbell, I mean, you look at a coach and you can say if it's going to work out. But with Urban Meyer, the fact that you're more involved in scandals, not in just scandals off the field, with your own assistant coaches, you have problems with your franchise quarterback, you have problems with your number one running back. Dan Campbell hasn't gotten that far. And if you're going that far, fire your ass. I don't care if they fire him right now, honestly. I give Darrell Bevell, all Lions fans' favorite coordinator, give him a shot. See how he does. Because Urban Meyer... God, I think Doug is onto something. As soon as they cut Tebow, Jesus cursed them. You know what, Doug?
Yeah, period. Don't
you know what, Doug?
cut
Absolutely.
Tebow.
Jesus hates the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's facts.
Tebow should be their tight end right now.
Yep. All right, next.
All right. The next coach, Dan Campbell. We got to...
All right, should he or shouldn't he be on the hot seat?
He should be on the hot seat.
He shouldn't be on the hot seat.
No.
No, he shouldn't be.
Okay.
It's year one of a 6-year deal. The guy's going to be the coach next year, and I could really see him being the coach on the third year. I don't see it happening. Results, if you just looked at the record, you could make the argument, but no, not the case. It's year one. He deserves all of next season. You can judge him probably by Thanksgiving of next year, kind of get a better idea of what he's going to be like, but way too early for Dan.
Okay, maybe not the hot seat, but the seat's warming up. He's got the butt warmers on.
I don't think so, not yet. It was warming up when he was winless. Got the win. They're not an embarrassment. I mean, they still are an embarrassment. Don't get me wrong.
Hang on.
But they're not the talk of the town that they're winless.
Okay.
Nobody wanted to go into the offseason talking about a winless football team. So that's done.
We have a win
He's
and
going to be
a tie.
the coach next year, so he's not on the hot seat. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Not on the hot seat. I think the only part of the seat that might be warm is maybe the decision-making standpoint. But just in terms of saying, is he going to get fired? Hell no. Year one, got probably the worst roster in football. We can all agree with that. And especially Sunday, yesterday, no doubt, worst roster in football. So, no, he's not on the hot seat. But next year and the year after that, yes, it's going to get warmer. Definitely.
All right, well, it sounds like Adam likes this next guy, Arthur Smith.
Yeah, I like Arthur Smith. Shouldn't be on the hot seat.
I
wanted to bring him up because he was a rookie coach. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, there's another guy. I was going to add Brandon Staley on here, too, but because they're rookie coaches. Yeah. But, look, I really just wanted to give a little 10-second piece on Arthur Smith. I think he's doing a good job. Yep. He's creative. The offense looks like it's more comfortable. They're getting it together. They're winning football games. People in Atlanta are happy. They need an offensive line. They need Calvin Ridley to come back if he can come back. If not, they need to address the wide receiver position. And then the defense is a whole different issue. So they're in a real rebuild, but they look good doing it.
They look good.
What a surprise.
Yeah.
I like Arthur Smith.
Yeah, Arthur Smith, that seat should be cold. That man, in his first year, what he's done with the team, that number one, we'll just state this, no Calvin Ridley for the year. I have him in fantasy, so I absolutely know that. And you gotten a lot out of Cordell Patterson. I mean, that's just what he's been able to get out of his players. And, he's been known to use tight ends in the past. You got Kyle Pitts you just draft there. I think I'm a big fan of Arthur Smith. That's a guy that, no doubt, give him some talent, and you'll see where he takes you as a football team. So, no, not at all. I agree with you. His seat's freezing cold. He's good. He's all good.
D-Mac in the chat, please tell me you're seeing that. He said, I confirm Adam farts a lot. When I show up, the seat's always warm. I love you, D-Mac. All right, the next coach we got to talk about, Pete Carroll. No, the seat's cold.
The seat on Pete Carroll should be extremely hot. But you know what? They've won 2 straight. And it's starting to look like he is going to stick around in town, and Russell Wilson's going to be the one to leave.
And
I don't know how Seahawk fans even accept that. Yeah. Give me Russell Wilson over Pete Carroll any day of the week. Pete Carroll's what, 95 years old?
I love him. I want him to be my grandpa.
He has too much power. He should not be the GM, the president, and the head coach. What the hell is that? It doesn't work. Look what Stan Van Gundy did. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Nobody should be doing all that. Imagine trying to work 3 full-time jobs that require 80 to 100 hours a week.
You do that.
I can't.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said it.
That's a really good point. I'm doing a better job than Pete Carroll is. Let's just put it that way.
And Pete Carroll, you know where this is heading, and I already know where this is heading. They won 2 straight, of course, but this is going to be, and you kind of alluded to it already. John Schneider's going to have to decide my franchise quarterback or my 70-year-old head coach. And I honestly, in my opinion, I think they fire Pete Carroll. I think they stick with Russell because that's the obvious move. You got a franchise quarterback like that. Unless Russell himself says, I want out, I think Pete Carroll, I mean, his seat's hot, but the question is, will he be fired? I don't know. And it's an interesting question because I want to see what John Schneider does. What do you choose? Your franchise quarterback, future Hall of Famer possibly, or Pete Carroll?
So, chat, everybody, the Pickett, I really like the Pickett conversation going on in the OC. Keep all this, guys. I would love to hear it at 9:52. Everybody ask questions from 9:52 up until 10. I would love to actually get into this with the chat. But who's next, Kennedy?
Robert Saleh.
Robert Saleh, seats warm. I like him. Love his story. You can't be a defensive-minded coach, have actual defensive talent in New York, and not show any signs of improvement. They don't look good. Young coaching staff, Mike LaFleur, Robert Saleh, extremely new, being like the alphas on a coaching staff. He's going to be the coach going into next year, but you got to show improvement, Robert. I love him. Love the story. Supporting him, rooting for him hard. That doesn't mean he's absolved of criticism. He doesn't look good right now in New York. The Jets don't look good. They're not getting anything going on offense or defense. It needs to be said.
I'll say this about Robert Saleh. I'm not going to say his seat's warm or hot because, and I'll say it like this. I think the Jets, and to your point, they have Zach Wilson, and obviously he hasn't put their defense in a lot of good situations. You saw Zach Wilson, how he's looked throughout the year, and then Mike White comes in, throws for 400 yards. The reason why I wouldn't say Saleh's seat's hot is because 2 wins this year, and they're big wins. You beat Tennessee, and you beat the Bengals, which, you know, to the credit of the Lions, we haven't done that. We haven't beaten any good team. We beat Minnesota, which is a good team, but the Jets have shown something. I mean, he brought in Mike LaFleur, which was a home run, and I think Robert Saleh, the fact of the matter is next year, obviously, all these rookie head coaches, you're going to have to show improvement, unless you're Brandon Staley and you're having a good season already, but Robert Saleh is going to have to show improvement, but I don't think his seat's warm yet. I think next year
I think you have to ask questions. When you're a defensive-minded coach in this league, and that's what your specialty is, it needs to show on the defensive side of the ball. Sorry. Next.
The Panthers, Matt Rule just brought Cam Newton back. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I think it's a disaster in terms of their quarterback situation. They're still paying Bridgewater in terms of cap space. They have Cam, they have Walker, and then Darnold's hurt. It's a disaster. But you got to look at the bright things with Matt Rule. The defense is ranked 2nd in pass defense, 7th in points allowed. The offense is just completely anemic and beyond disastrous. They turn the ball over 2-3 times a game. Their defense is strong. I like what Matt Rule's doing. He just needs to get the quarterback right. I don't care how good you are as a coach. I like Matt. I really do. But if he doesn't get the quarterback right, he's not going to have a job. And you're going to have to get fired. I'm sorry. You have to get the most important things in a company. They need to be done right. When you're the leader of that company, which Matt Rule is, you need to get the quarterback right.
Yeah.
If you don't, sorry, you're probably not going to be in a job 2 years from now.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the Bears. Matt Nagy.
We got to go to break.
Nobody wants him there. Just tell him.
Matt Nagy, F him. And who's the last one?
Zimmer. He lost to the Lions.
I like his girlfriend, but F him.
Both on hot seats?
That's weird. I think they both deservedly should be on hot seats, although Zimmer's a better coach.
Oh, okay. All right. We have to hit the break, but when we come back, we'll do our mailbag segment, so make sure you guys are asking a bunch of questions in the chat, and we will get to all of them when we come back.
It's that time of the year again. Time for our 2nd annual Stuff a Studio with Woodward Sports. Last year, Metro Detroit came together to help make the largest single toy donation in Mott Children's Hospital history. This year, we make it even bigger. Stuff a Studio is happening December 13th through the 17th at the Woodward Sports Studios in Birmingham. The children in Mott Children's Hospital fight so hard all year. Now it's up to all of us to help bring a smile to their faces. So while you're out holiday shopping, make sure you pick up an extra toy or two and help us spread some love to Metro Detroit this season. We look forward to seeing you December 13th through the 17th as we stuff our studio with Woodward Sports and Myre.
Woodward Sports Network, let's go! Ho, 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 ho!
Putting on a
show here, and that's how you answer.
We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Woodward Show. We have your questions in the chat. We're going to start with YT Sparty. He says, you're paying Goff $30 million next year. Why would you get in another expensive QB? Besides, Pickett is a fraud.
I love you, YT. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your real name is, but thank you. Somebody who just doesn't get lost in the media hype. Now, Kenny Pickett could turn out to be a really good prospect. But right now, it's nothing special, guys. This guy isn't Joe Burrow coming onto the scene. You're like, where'd that come from? Take him #1 overall. But the NFL is notorious for having GMs who just make absolute hilarious mistakes and decisions. Zach Wilson flew from 7th round projected pick to undrafted all the way up to this #2 overall pick, playing for BYU. So I wouldn't be surprised if the media like ESPN absolutely stroke Kenny Pickett all the way to the top of the board. Having said that, I don't see it. Goff is $30 million on the books next year. You're stuck with him. If you want to take a quarterback, do it in the 2nd round, 3rd, 4th round. I don't see it this year. I just don't. I could change my mind before the draft, but right now I don't see it. So I'm going to agree with Spartan.
I'm with them, too.
Yeah, I don't want the Lions to draft a quarterback until the 3rd round. I don't care about Kenny Pickett. Although I watched him in college, and the guy, he's nice. He's a good player, but I'm not ready for the Lions. That's not my next franchise quarterback. I'm sorry. I'd rather the Lions, you address positions you need, you have Goff next year, and you'll figure it out. Either you get Bryce Young following year.
Yep.
Tammy wants to know, what's one positive thing that you have with the Lions this season?
What's next?
No, answer. One nice thing. You can say one thing.
There's football in Detroit.
I was going to say Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn, yeah, thank you.
There we go. All three of us agree. All right. Adam, how was it hosting the Lions pregame show?
It was nice. It was fun. Braylon and Neil are a good time. They really are. It was really fun. People at the bar there were really nice. Kennedy was doing Kennedy things. I had a good time.
I was in the Cuervo zone.
Absolutely.
Where I feel most at home.
What else we got?
Rob J wants to know, who should be the Lions' next head coach?
Too early to say.
Agreed.
Because the market right now, you have Kellen Moore, there's a ton of guys out there that are going to be hired this year.
Mm-hmm.
Campbell's not getting fired this year, so I think it's way too early to ask that because I'm not going to be able to predict who's going to be available 2-3 years from now.
Brian wants to know, could the Lions win a few more games and lose out on that #1 pick? I'm so scared of that happening.
I don't know. With Dan Campbell's 4th down decisions, I don't see it happening. I think they'll just keep losing games. I think they finish 1-15-1. I see it.
Okay.
2-14-1 at the most. Just got to be careful getting 2 wins because Texans, Jags, they may finish with 2 wins without a tie, and then you're stuck with the #3 overall pick.
Pissed.
So, got to be careful.
I think they land the #1. That's just my opinion. Unless Jacksonville or anybody has a breakdown, but Lions should be good for getting that #1 overall pick. I think the important question I saw Matt ask is any wide receivers worth available in the 1st round, and I'll answer that. There's a ton. Dotson, I like the Alabama guys, but yeah, Dotson from Penn State. There's going to be a couple guys that fall to you. It just depends on who you pull the trigger on. So we'll see on that.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I like this question from Mr. McKinney. Actually, excuse me, Patty. It was from Patty. Question: the Rams pick. For a question for the Rams pick, if you get the best linebacker or the best quarterback, what would you do?
Ooh.
So it depends, right? If Kenny Pickett, I don't see him falling. Somebody's reaching. The Giants, maybe the Panthers trade up. Somebody's going in the top 10 and taking him. He's going to be a top 10 pick. I just see it playing out that way. So whether it's Desmond Ridder available, I just don't see the guy that you're going to take #24 overall. You're 8 to 10 players away realistically on defense and offense combined. You need a wide receiver. You need some linebackers. You need some secondary players. You need an edge rusher. There's so many holes on this team. You got to get something. And I don't see them taking a quarterback right away. Who knows? They could take a chance on Ridder. They could take a chance on one of these guys and then sit him for a year. And let Jared Goff play into week 12 of next year and then sit him when they're 0-12 probably. And then let the rookie play. Who knows? Who knows?
Juices Ghost says, can we agree that if Dan Campbell brings in an offensive genius and they get the ship righted, all the fire Campbell talk goes away? I think so. What?
No.
That's what we're missing. Don't cross your arms at me.
Excuse me?
We
are missing an offensive coordinator? That's what you think we're missing right now?
Yes. Well, and a quarterback and a few other things.
And a lot of things. And
but
you don't know if he's the right head coach right now.
Dan Campbell's doing the play calling because we don't.
Well, that's obviously
we got a
problem. Well, who made that decision?
Not me.
Who made that decision?
Not me.
We got to go. It's 10 o'clock.
Not you trying to make me throw my girl under the bus. Anyway, we have to go. Big D Energy coming up next. We will see you guys right back here tomorrow. Tuesday, we'll talk about Monday Night Football. We have toys in the studio. We will see you guys tomorrow. All right, hang out with Big D Energy coming up next.